on the WSL2 YouTube channel. A reminder, every single game available to watch right here for the remainder of the season. And Southampton are looking for a fast start as the early ball shuffles through the line, trying to find McAloney, who couldn't quite bring it under a spell at the first time of asking. This is McAloney, though, who'll run away from that Sunderland midfield. And an early touch for Tegan McGowan, trying to return the favour. McAloney, and cross blocked. Well, Sunderland won their last league game before the winter break. That a 2-1 win at home to relegation candidates Ipswich Town. They were made to work for it, though, and did trail at half-time. That victory over Ipswich ended a run of 4 consecutive defeats and 7 matches without a win. So something to build on, perhaps. Mel Ray also keen to point out in her pre-match thoughts this week that the performance, albeit a defeat against London City Lionesses in the FA Cup last weekend, was one to be proud of. Long sweeping ball away down the right-hand side. It really is an important game for both sides. Sunderland going to show that they still have some fight to avoid their season fizzling out. Southampton going to be able to maintain their recent form and keep pace with the top 5. This is Primus. Long searching ball forwards, well dealt with initially by Sunderland, although the clearance will take some convincing from here. Young Tegan McGowan there with the number 17 on her back. A new signing for Southampton, 21 years old. Has joined on loan from Birmingham City for the remainder of this season. Primus intercepts that ball from Fenton across the midfield and is still going, though Sunderland want a free kick. Now McGowan. McAloney offering the overlap, but McGowan goes alone for a moment. Now Primus, and this is McAloney. Deflected behind by Griffiths, and the first corner of the game will fall to the visitors, who'll be pleased with their start through the opening 3 minutes. Well, an early opportunity then to test this Sunderland defence. And with a delivery like that, they won't have to do much defending. Set pieces is an area that Mel Ray and her side are having to pay close attention to. It was an in-swinging ball that caused them so much problems against London City a week ago in the FA Cup 4th round. That's where they conceded from, and a header at the near post. Brazil's flicked header. Good clearance away, but only as far as Bashford. Now Collett, who couldn't quite find McGowan this time. Bashford and Shiva colliding. Scar will look to get under this, but former teammate Goddard, who, as I said before the game, will be trying to keep her quiet today, came a long way from her usual position of the middle of defence there to take out not just her, but her teammate Collett as well. Drop ball situation as Griffiths will play the ball back to her teammate in the middle of defence. Sunderland's poor form from October onwards really means any realistic chance of challenging for the top three may have long since faded. It's a really aggressive press in the early stages of this game from Southampton. McAloney, not for the first time in the early stages of this afternoon, looks to stride away from that Sunderland midfield. McGowan will leave the taking of the throw-in for Collett. This one of 4 2 o'clock kickoffs in the WSL2, all of them available to watch on the WSL2 YouTube channel. As McGowan is almost nudged out of play, does well to keep the play alive. Goddard chasing the ball as well, though Sunderland will squeeze their way out from left to right, and that's neat football there. Now Dale swings a big right boot at it, and it's a lovely bit of distribution to that far side of the ground. Is the cross going to match that as well? Bashford can't quite control it at the first time of asking. Goddard comes and swings a boot at it. And Southampton nearly make a mess of that clearance. It's taken nearly 7 minutes, but for the first time this afternoon, Sunderland have looked like they can threaten. That's Griffiths with the throw-in. Challenge made by Collett, who felt she should have had a throw. Saw one for Griffiths. Everything's sore on a cold afternoon in the northeast. A little nudge from Bashford there, just enough to put Katie Kitching off. It's Fran Stenson in the Southampton goal, 24-year-old. Started life at Birmingham City's academy, but despite being still young in years, is well-travelled. Played for Manchester City, Blackburn, Arsenal, Brighton and Sheffield United. That is the former Black Cats, bundled to the ground by Dale. It will be a free kick, albeit after an initial delay there, as Lucy May decided whether or not she wanted to intervene. Goddard's ball through the lines to McGowan, who's been a real focal point through the first 8 or 9 minutes. Goddard searching again. Well broken up in the midfield, but falls to McAloney. Bit wild as she attempted again to find McGowan. Number 17 made her debut for Southampton in their 4-0 win over Portsmouth. Has played twice so far prior to today. Both of those came as a substitute, so this is a first start for the Saints as Palmer picks it up. Little floated pass trying to find McAloney. Bundles through Griffiths. The officials content to let play continue. And that looked to be a late challenge as well, though the referee again letting things play out. Simpson. Switching ball for McGowan. Well brought under the spell as well from the Birmingham City loanee. Just ran out of room in the end. So Southampton starting the day 6th in WSL 2. 18 points to their name through 12 matches. Played one more than Sunderland after Sunderland's game against Durham a couple of weeks ago was postponed. Ali Brazil charging down the clearance, which will result in a Sunderland goal kick. Spent last season at Charlton, Brazil, where she was Player of the Year. 26 years old now, started life at Derby County. That's a neat little flick, and Dale turns it round the corner, and Sunderland could well be away. Down that right touchline, the talented Watson on the ball will win her side. Her first corner kick of the game. They have such dynamism in attack, particularly when Watson and Kitchen get involved. Voted the North East Sports Writers Young Player of the Year. And there is the North East Sports Writers Player of the Year, Katie Kitching. Dale in acres of space, as there is plenty of room there on the edge of the box. Punched away by Stenson. Helped clear by Bashford. Once, maybe twice. Falls to Dale. And that'll be a goal kick for the visiting Saints. Just the 620 miles or so round trip from St Mary's to this part of the northeast. So good 5.5 hours on the coach each way. Bourne's ball away. By hook or by crook, just about manages to make its way forward, and that'll be a free kick for the visitors. It's Jess Simpson who won the free kick for Southampton. 4 goals, 3 assists to her name so far this season, on loan from Manchester United. And it is Simpson's delivery in towards the penalty area, well headed away. And Collett will get there just in front of Shiva. Fenton dispossessed by Goddard. That'll be a throw-in to Sunderland. McAloney does well to keep a hold of the ball there and tries to set McGowan away. Covering defending though. That'll be a throw for, well, the home team. Must have flicked off of McGowan last, so even better defending. Simon Parker will be pleased with the start that his side has made through the first quarter of an hour almost. Goddard, McGowan. Such a physical presence is the former Sunderland and now Southampton centre-half Amy Goddard. A couple of goals to her name so far this season, including one at Sheffield United with her head in December, just before the winter break. Brazil. Hairs after this one. Broken up by Westrup, though, before she could do any damage. Macaloni. Palmer. Trying to find Primus. Cleared away before it could reach her. Goddard. And McGowan dispossessed. And again, Sunderland will look to counter-attack, this time through Scar. They've looked dangerous when they've done that, but Bashford this time wise to their intentions. And now there's a counter-attack for Southampton. McGowan gets clipped by Griffiths. You wonder whether or not there might be further punishment there as well. A card in the colour to match the referee's shirt. Goal starting to go in elsewhere in WSL 2. Charlton, no surprise, leading against Newcastle. Ipswich Town, some surprise, leading against Bristol City. Earlier on today, Portsmouth, Southampton's South Coast rivals, beaten by 4-0. That was yesterday, I should say, and earlier Crystal Palace 4-0 winners over Durham. So Palace keeping chase at the top 3. Palmer's cross into the penalty area and deep towards that back post where the likes of Goddard and Bourne will always be targets. Not even Amy Goddard was tall enough to get on the end of that one. But we await a breakthrough at Appleton Colliery. Southampton still very much in touch with that top 3, just 4 points off second and third place. Perhaps crucially, they are still to play 4 of the current top 5 teams at home before the end of the season. Sunderland again wanting a free kick there. The referee not forthcoming. This is Brazil looking to link up with Collett and Palmer. Macaloni there too. There'll be a throw-in. Nottingham Forest now in front against Sheffield United as well. So this the only WSL 2 game left without a goal this weekend. Well cut out. That'll be a second corner kick of the game for the visitors. It's Brianna Westrup, the Sunderland skipper, who was coming across covering there, not for the first time. And plenty of size. It's Scar's duty to try and keep Goddard quiet this time. Not the finest delivery in the world, though, from Simpson. I think the Sunderland players in particular are growing quite frustrated with the referee for letting some bits and bobs go here and there. Of course, those Sunderland players know all about frustration of late. Frustrated that they've not been able to resume their league season. This is the first time that they have played since before Christmas. Start the day 8th in the table. The epitome of mid-table, really. 7 points clear of relegation, 10 points off Bristol City in 3rd position. Melray saying before the game that they need to really try and kick on. Make every single game count now to ensure that, it's an expression I've already used, that the season just doesn't fizzle out towards the end of January and before we even get to the spring. Shiva trying to target a direct ball out in the direction of Watson. And Simpson back there doing some defending for the Saints. There's Watson chasing after this one again. First time ball is deflected behind. Shown a threat every time that the ball has gone out in her direction through the first 20 minutes. Joined Sunderland when she was just 9 years old and has scored goals at every age group since. And that's Katie Kitchen, now 27. Born in England, but a New Zealand international and an Olympian who will go across and take the right-footed outswinger. Dale again with the freedom of the 18-yard box. Ball flicked in, up in the air by Palmer, nodded down. And Roberts couldn't quite turn it goalwards initially. Now to Watson, back to goal. Primus will look to be the latest player to try and charge down a Sunderland effort. Looping ball to the back post is tricky to deal with. But Westrup couldn't quite direct that goalwards either. Couple of threats though for the Southampton defence and goalkeeper to try and keep an eye on. Southampton enjoying more of the ball in the early stages of this game. But neither side yet to really trouble the goalkeeper. A couple of hairy moments aside. Primus. McAloney. Well, one back by Sunderland. That was Westrup. First time ball by Scott. Looking for Shiva. I'm not sure that Bashford wanted the ball there from Goddard. Well, she's done well to win a free kick nonetheless off of Shiva. Born in the United States, plays for the Republic of Ireland, Marissa Shiva. Signed for Sunderland in March last year. McGowan. Primus wants it in the middle of the pitch, and Primus gets it. Brazil's the first time option, comes back to Primus, not afraid to hit one. It's an effort on target, but always a very comfortable save for Grace Maloney. Primus with just one goal in her last 11 games. Scott up to Dale. Sure that wasn't the intention from Jess Brown. Might well set Primus and Brazil away. This is Brazil. Ball in towards McAloney at that near post. Well shepherded behind. Might well have been a sore one for McAloney. Corner kick though, rather than anything more damaging for Sunderland. It's a really inviting ball that in at the near post from Brazil, and McAloney just had to throw herself at it. Third corner of the game already for Southampton. Very crowded inside that 6-yard box, directly in front of the goalkeeper. In swinger headed away well by Roberts. McGowan trying to find the low ball to Bashford. Bashford almost got the other side of Fenton. A 27-year-old midfielder who won a couple of promotions with Blackburn did well to retrieve possession for her side. This is Shiva. Shiva just about manages to squeeze that ball through Primus. Watson gives it away, and Southampton have it back once more with McGowan. Might have caught the Sunderland player there on the follow-through. Simon Parker calling Tegan McGowan a very exciting player, still having to get some minutes into her and still having to learn quite how they want her to play and play within the system at Southampton. That looked to be a sore one there. It's Scar who is down. Slow on getting back up again. Says McGowan just loses it. Does appear to catch her. McAloney, bit of space now, particularly for Primus. Atlanta Primus on the edge of that Sunderland penalty area. Little spin, Brazil comes up with it. Might well have been offside, but the flag stays down. Primus the target again. And it will be another corner kick. Amy Palmer's gone across to take the corner for Southampton. And again, Bashford and Brazil go and stand directly in front of Grace Maloney. Goddard again will be a target. Well dealt with by the keeper, only as far as McAloney though. Never caught a hold of it. But she's been busy through the first half of the first half. Not the most convincing of touches from Bourne. Gives away a throw-in. So grey and miserly afternoon in the northeast. Appleton Colliery is tucked away just southwest of Sunderland's town centre. Atlanta Primus winning the free kick for her side. Poor ball away. Sunderland tried to seize a bit of the impetus, but a good recovering challenge made by Primus. Palmer wins it back again for the visitors. And a speculative ball forwards is easily broken up once more. Shiva has it. Now Westrup and Shiva again. Not too many options on. Just to pick out Scar down the left, and that'll be a throw-in. Shiva. And Westrup. All the way back to Grace Maloney, just the one clean sheet in WSL2 to her name so far this season, and that was way back on opening day at Sheffield United. This is a second meeting of the season between these two. They drew 1-1 when they met on the South Coast back in September. Katie Watson scoring the opener for Sunderland before Chloe Peplow, who's on the bench today for Southampton, got the equaliser late in first half stoppage time. Primus turns it round the corner, gets it back again. That's neat football from Southampton. And Brazil will be the outlet down the left if she can keep it in, and does. McGowan and Collett to aim at in the middle. Simpson there too. Brazil's ball deflects up in the air. First attempted clearance wasn't all that successful, but Shiva will bring it away. Crunching challenge once more as Goddard comes across. Certainly not shy on making her mark against her former teammates this afternoon. It's a good battle with her linked up with the likes of Scar and Dale all afternoon. Collett looking for Brazil. First touch let her down, but that was fortuitous in the end for McGowan. This is McGowan twisting, turning, looking for Primus, and the slightest flick took it away from the Southampton striker. Didn't have a great deal to do last weekend. Grace Maloney against London City Lionesses only had one attempt to save all day. They were narrowly beaten by 1-0. Very much a positive for Mel Ray and her side. Maloney again using her body well, twisting away, and Griffiths judged to have fouled McGowan. It's Goddard who's stood over the free kick. Will go short. Back to her keeper Stenson. Had to be forced into a save this afternoon. Dale putting the pressure on Goddard. It'll be a Southampton throw. Maloney can't quite keep that in for Southampton, but it will be another throw. Plenty of endeavour from the visitors who've made the long journey north. Nothing really to test the goalkeeper Maloney yet. That should be a throw-in to Sunderland, which it is. Southampton have won 2 of their 3 matches at Sunderland. In fact, both of the away teams won when they met last year. 3-0 here, 2-0 down on the south coast. Little nod from Rhiannon Roberts back to the goalkeeper. Dale not able to keep that one in. Born in Durham, Helena Dale made a debut for Middlesbrough, where she would spend 3 years with the first team. That's Collett with the ball, though, for Southampton. Scar looking for the nutmeg, came back to Bashford. Shiva making a nuisance of herself, won't quite get there. And it'll be another throw-in for the Saints. And lifelong Southampton player Collett will take it. Started at their academy, was part of the National League South promotion winning side of 2022 when she was still just a teenager. It's good from Fenton to find Shiva. Looking for Kitching. Crucial defending, though, from Primus, who tracked a long way across to get in the way there. Brazil can't hold it up. Brown plays that long and hopefully down the right-hand side, but neither Kitching or Watson are anywhere in the vicinity. And a little over 10 minutes remain at the end of the first half. There'll be positives in there for both managers. A lack of cutting edge, though, from both sides. Maloney throws herself on the ground. And the referee awards her with a free kick. And Fenton is not pleased with that decision and gets a yellow card for her protests. That's a first yellow card of the afternoon that Lucy May has produced. Bashford. We'll find Collett, who is escorted by Griffiths off the pitch. Born under pressure from Dale. Back for Stenson. Fenton booked just a moment ago. This is Goddard. Brazil. Little flick for Primus. The ball just held up on the pitch. There has been a bit of criticism about this playing surface. Not just from visiting managers, but from Mel Ray as well. Bit of a slope to it. We're going to try their luck here. The long searching ball forwards that was always going to run away from the Sunderland front players. Jess Brown with the searching through pass. Was involved in a goal in their last WSL game here, a 2-1 win against Ipswich. Real scramble for the equaliser at the back post. I've watched that goal about 10 or 11 times over, and I'm still not 100% sure who got the final touch. Might well have come off of an Ipswich defender last. Simpson's ball cannons off a Sunderland player. Kitchen gives it away, straight to Bashford. McAloney can't bring it under a spell, though. And Shiva finds a touch back to one of her defenders. That's neat. Lovely control from Scar. Charlton now leading by 2-0 against Newcastle as they continue on their march to promotion. This remains the only game in WSL 2 yet to have a breakthrough. Stick with us, we'll get there. Palmer to Primus and back again. Bit of space for McAloney now to turn into and gobble up some ground in front of her. She has McGowan to her right. That's where the ball goes. Tegan McGowan. Just let it run under her studs for a moment. Tegan McGowan's cross into the penalty area. Finds Brazil. Looking for Collett. Couldn't quite keep that under control. Probably the fastest, most cutting bit of football that we've seen, though, through the first 39 minutes of this game. Brazil does well to hold it up. Just cut across it, did Collett. One goal to a name so far this season. That came at Crystal Palace. Now she'd love to add another one to the collection today. Make that long journey back to the south coast worthwhile. Sarcastic cheers, you might note, at the awarding of a Sunderland free kick. Taken quickly, too quickly for their own good. Simon Parker lamented the frustration of getting knocked out at extra time against Bristol City last week in the FA Cup, but did at least say that it gives them no excuses to not give absolutely everything to the league campaign. Mel Ray, on the other hand, encouraged by the performance against London City Lionesses, just wants more out of her team now. Plenty of instructions from Mel Ray, 44-year-old. Goes back a long way with Sunderland. She was an excellent striker in her day as well. This is Katie Watson. Good effort. Continues to look dangerous. And despite Southampton enjoying the majority of the ball in this first half and having a good 5 or 10 minutes or so, it is Sunderland now who, with less than 5 minutes remaining before the half-time interval, who have a chance to put the team in black under some real pressure from what is their third corner kick of the game. That's Kitching, who raises both hands above her head, queuing up towards the back post, which is where the ball goes, and Stenson, taking no chances there, did really well to push that above her crossbar. It is a breezy afternoon in the northeast. It's not just grey and cold. There's plenty to contend with. And it just swept away off of the right boot of Kitching, who will have another go. This time, though, an in-swinger. And you wouldn't be surprised at all to see if he tries to whip this under the crossbar again. Instead, disappointing. It's the side netting. Expects better of herself. 27-year-old New Zealand international. Well, one back in the midfield. That is Kitching. And you can hear the frustration there. Screams of, oh, come on, from, it might well have even been Mel Ray from the opposite side of the field. McAloney trying to set Brazil away. Drifts out for what will be a Sunderland throw-in instead. Southampton victorious in this fixture last season by 3-0. Sunderland winners by 2-0 on the South Coast. That's a lovely flick around the corner from Brazil to Primus. Brazil will try to get back on the end of this again and does. Teammates flooding forwards. One of them is Bashford. Strong challenge made. Really important one at that. Now Palmer looking for Primus. Can she keep it in? Not quite. Just asked too much of Primus in the end. Still waiting for that first breakthrough here then in the northeast. Southampton have made a habit of being stingy at the back in recent games. Kept a clean sheet in both of their last 2 league matches. They've only conceded once in their last 4 matches in all competitions. Last season finishing 8th. Where their home form was a real problem. They won just 1 of their 10 matches at St Mary's. They have improved on that under Simon Parker this time around. One final heave-ho forwards for the home team. Headed down by Goddard, but not away, then helped on its way. McGowan there too, that was a sore one. Kicked the bottom with a foot. Really sore, whether that be in the summertime or even worse in the middle of winter. Brazil the latest to hit the deck. And that is the half-time whistle. No stoppage time at the end of the first half here at Eppleton Colliery. Probably says plenty about the way that first 45 minutes played out. Scar is always a threat, but has been so far well monitored. Hasn't been able to have her say on the game as she has done in recent matches. Southampton have enjoyed more of the ball, but to be frank, neither keeper has been troubled all that much so far. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Southampton 0. It is Sunderland who get us back underway here as we lose the light in the northeast of England, and Stenson who gets an early touch in the second half. Shiva trying to steer the ball away from Bashford in the middle of the midfield. Gets a second attempt at doing so. It's cut out by Collett. And an early throw-in. It was Southampton that started the first half like they'd been shot out of a cannon. Perhaps the home team looking to do something similar here in the second half. That's the skipper, Roberts, in the heart of the defence. Signed in the summer from Real Betis. She'll have known warmer games. Neat little flick down the line. Goddard goes across, puts the ball behind, and it'll be a corner kick, an early corner kick, a fifth of the game for the home team. To confirm, no subs at the break. Some defending to be done. Scar will be a target, offers great height in there. Dale as well, who continues to be completely alone in the middle of the penalty area. And it is Dale who tries to get ahead on that. Comes back out, early effort from Brown, blocked by a bundle of players, and McGowan will lead the one-player fast break as Primus joins it. Good covering defending back there, though. And Griffiths has the ball back. So Southampton looking to win a third league game in a row for the first time this season. They haven't pressed away from home this campaign. 3 good wins, one at Birmingham, Portsmouth and Sheffield United. It's a sore one for Fenton. Mel Ray not pleased with the 4th official. Magdalena Golba this afternoon. Simpson with the throw. Looking for Brazil, might well have come off of a Sunderland body last, but it will be a throw-in nonetheless for the home side, and Brazil's not complaining. A little nudge in the back, perhaps, and a free kick. Let a lot of stuff go in the first half. Lucy May, the official, in yellow. That's Mel Ray under the hat. Briefly coached England's under-23s alongside her duties at Sunderland. Was a very good striker, but then again, goal-scoring runs in the family. Her cousin, Alan Shearer. This is Fenton. That's a good-looking ball towards the back post, and Stenson comes out and does very well to keep a hold of that. Three and a half minutes gone of the second half. I dare say we've already got more pace, more bite to this game than we had in the first 45 minutes as Bashford bashes through in the middle of the midfield. Now Brown for Sunderland. Katie Watson. Good touch. This is Kitching. Not such a good touch as Primus comes up with it. Palmer. Sweeping ball forward, but swept far too close to the penalty area. And Grace Maloney will be called into action for the first time in the second half. Big fan of those Adidas Predator boots. Roberts, long ball, looking for Watson. That's Bourne for Southampton. And a throw-in it will be, but the referee has seen something she's not happy with that involves Bashford. Just a warning for the Southampton midfielder Mary Bashford. Joined the club in the summer from Charlton. Flick on from Dale, looking for Watson, asking far too much of the youngster. Oh, cut out. Kitchen. Close-quartered stuff down there. Watson crowding her a little bit. Still manages to get the cross in. Easily dealt with, though not the most convincing clearing in the world from Brazil. Palmer there. Primus too. Neat touch. Gets the ball down. Macaloni, though, caught under her feet was the ball. Kitchen. Shiva. Macaloni making a nuisance of herself. Westrup. Good little take. Collett came across, though, and Southampton have it back. Sunderland will come again, though, down that left-hand side. First attempted cross was blocked. Second one, too. And another corner kick, a second for Sunderland in the first 6 minutes of the restart. Dale telling Kitchen exactly where she wants this one. Eleanor Dale, who joined Sunderland 18 months ago from Everton, scored 13 times last season, including one at Southampton. Has yet to find the same sort of rich vein of goal-scoring form in this campaign. And a big bundle of players at the back post once more. High dropping ball at the near post, which Dale attacked. Ball comes out towards the edge of the penalty area, fired back goalwards again, and deflected behind for yet another corner kick. It was Brown with the effort. So a third corner kick of the early stages of this second half. The referee with some sorting out to do, though. Not unusual when you pack 10, 11, 12 players into the space of a phone box. For young people listening, a phone box is what we used to call home with when we didn't have a mobile phone. Here comes the in-swinging ball. Inviting one, flicked just wide. Came off of, I think, either Goddard or Primus last. They disagree wholeheartedly. Roberts was there, and I think they think that the Sunderland skipper got the final telling touch. Certainly appeared that way. Rinse and repeat then. Kitching's cross, headed away. Watson chases after it. Dale there too. This is Watson. Oh, goodness me. Yet another corner. Real test this for those Southampton players, I would say defenders, but it is all hands on deck at the moment. All hands on deck, and yet more tidying up to do for the official, Lucy May. Have any more corners in the near future? Katie Kitchen might have a case for repetitive strain. This time goes short. Brown's ball towards the back post. Stenson came. Not sure she got much on it. Last touch by Westrup behind. And finally for Southampton, the successive run of corners, the siege with which they were under, lets up, at least for the moment. Dale in there as well. Might well have done better with that. Shiva. Ball away down the left wing. Targets to aim at again in the middle. Dale was one of them, but it's plucked off by Palmer first, and then a rather sloppy challenge from Collett. will result in a second yellow card of the game, the first for Southampton, joining Sunderland's Natasha Fenton in the book. And as you can tell, very little complaint from the Southampton 20-year-old. Saw one for Fenton. But it's a free kick in a good area. 10 minutes gone in the second half. I think Collett only had eyes for the ball, but there can be no question that she did catch Fenton. Just the one player in the wall for Southampton, that's McAloney. Long range effort towards that back post. Is it headed in? It's brilliantly saved. They can't keep it out. Can they? How are they keeping it out? How's it not gone in? It finally is. Scrambled in at the back post. And what an important goal that could prove to be. If at first and second and third, fourth, fifth, sixth time you don't succeed, just keep kicking it. Eventually it'll go in. Who scored it? Your guess is as good as mine. Well, it's Roberts originally there who has the effort. They continue to try. Look at the defending on the goal line from Goddard. And eventually it's smuggled in over the line. It's quite remarkable. I don't think I've ever seen a goal like it. Eleanor Dale being credited with that goal. And how she'll have needed that. A first goal of the season. Remarkable. The breakthrough, finally. Was it sloppy? Yeah, a little bit. Was it brilliant defending? Sort of. But it sure was worth the wait. And after a couple of games in WSL 2, where Southampton hadn't conceded, they now have big question marks over how they will respond. Kitching turns it down the corner. And a bit of space here for Watson to run into, trying to sprint away from those Southampton defenders. Got some space to pick out her cross. Towards the back post, another couple of opportunities there for these Sunderland players. Danger not cleared away just yet. Fenton, back to Watson again. Low driven shot is blocked. Half cleared at best, falls to Brown. Fenton caught perhaps on the edge of the box by McAloney. Play continues, down goes the player. Referee shakes her head. Well, Sunderland have started this second half really well indeed. And it is some test for the visiting Southampton players now to stand up to on this cold and grey, increasingly dark afternoon in the northeast. So a throw-in that Collett will come forwards and take. McAloney back to Collett once more. Tries to squeeze a ball into the penalty area, half-headed away. And then helped on its way back up towards that halfway line again where Bourne takes over. I know they'll be disappointed, the Southampton defenders. I might have to come back to that because Dale is running away from them again, and there are targets in the middle. Eleanor Dale, ball towards the back post. Katie Watson, one-on-one, just how she likes it, trying to get that ball past Simpson, who does really well to stand up and make the block. Good little touch from Brown. Watson there for company. Enough room for another cross. McAloney doing some defending. And now Brazil will spin away from Roberts and keep on going. Just ran out of room in the end. Griffiths was just about doing enough to put her off. Well, it's quite the collision and will result in a Sunderland free kick. Saw one for Kitching, who was sandwiched between a couple of Saints, Simpson and Goddard. Certainly put herself about this afternoon, Goddard, on the return to her old stomping ground. It's a clumsy one. And it's a yellow card for Tara Bourne, involved in the challenge. Or perhaps involved in a bit of back chat afterwards. Long way to go, but what a victory this would be for Sunderland, with Ipswich winning at the bottom of the table today as well. It could well prove to be very important as Watson flicks that ball into the penalty area. Half cleared away, not all that convincingly though, as Shiva comes up with it. Fenton cross back into the penalty area again. Brazil back there gets a telling touch. And this is Tegan McGowan. Atlanta Primus tries to skip away from Fenton, looking to shove her off the ball, but it's still Primus. Primus tries her luck. That's really good work from Atlanta Primus, just the effort a couple of yards too high. As it stands, Sunderland up to 8th, with a very handy 7-point cushion to 12th place Ipswich, who continue to lead by 1-0 at 3rd in the table, Bristol City. Drags them right back into that mix with the likes of Southampton, Nottingham Forest and Newcastle, who are trying to chase the top 4. Bristol City and Crystal Palace both have 22 points apiece. Bashford climbs high, trying to win that header. Primus hooks it away. Brazil looking to skip in behind and held up by the Sunderland skipper. That's a throwing for Southampton. Still very much in touch with that top 3. Though defeat here today would be seen as a missed opportunity. 4-point gap to third at the moment. Bourne, who was recently booked, with a long direct ball for McAloney to chase. Couldn't quite bring that under her control. Prevents it from going behind for a goal kick, though, and it's at least an opportunity to try and box the home side in their bottom corner. Got some substitutions on the way, though. 2 from the visiting Southampton team, as Chloe Peplow, who has scored an equaliser once this season, will replace Amy Palmer. That equaliser coming when the two sides met on the South Coast in September. So Peplow replacing Palmer. And the other change sees full debutants. Tegan McGowan, who started the game really promisingly, replaced by Ruby Ray Tucker. The goal scorer, the difference maker at the moment with the header there, out for a Southampton throw. Really important 20-25 minutes in Southampton's season here, you sense. McAloney holding off Fenton. This is Bourne. Direct ball, looking for Brazil. Headed down by Bashford, flicked on by Brazil. Can McAloney turn it round the corner? Assistant's flag is already up for offside on the far side. For Sunderland, they've not kept a clean sheet in WSL 2 since the opening day of the season, when they won 4-0 at Sheffield United. That is 10 matches without a clean sheet. And that also means they haven't kept a clean sheet at home for the entire campaign. Bashford and Shiva collide. Brazil held up. Good challenge that by Westrup. McAloney trying to find space to give the ball to Collett, but that's good organised defending on the left-hand side for the Sunderland midfielders. McAloney spinning away from Shiva, going down, winning a free kick. Could prove to be a backs to the walls job for Sunderland for the remaining 20 minutes or so. It'll be Tara Bourne who leads the WSL 2 in assists from free kicks just like this. He'll take this one. Goddard was the target. Falls to Peplow, one of those two substitutes that have just come off the bench. Ruby Ray Tucker, the other one. Another cross into the penalty area. Goddard again was the person that they were trying to pick out. Collett, usually on the right, comes across to the left. And Peplow. Ruby Ray Tucker. There's the ball for Bashford. Points where she wants it. Gets it back again and is brought down. Another free kick. Another opportunity for them to launch the ball into the Sunderland penalty area. An increasingly used penalty area in the last few moments of the game as Southampton try to get themselves level. It's a yellow card, I think, perhaps there. Katie Kitchen, who went into the book. Bourne again with the ball. Peplo adds some added height now from these set pieces. Crossed into the penalty area, looking for Bashford initially. Cleared away only as far as Collett. And look at how far the Southampton goalkeeper is now from her penalty area. Stenson to McAloney, can't afford to lose it there, and doesn't. Drills the ball out to Tucker. And strong defending. But Brazil's come across now as well, and eventually the assistant intervenes. Not a great deal in it, but a free kick nonetheless to the home team. And just confirmation that it was indeed Katie Kitching who was booked a few moments ago for the foul on Bashford. I'd love to be able to tell you here that I know what's gone on. It looks like it might be part of somebody's shin pad. Shin pads are quite small these days. There we are. Slot that back in there. So small they didn't even know that it was missing from Atlanta Primus. Well found by the referee. Less than 20 minutes remaining then. Newcastle have pulled a goal back against league leaders Charlton. Charlton continuing to lead by 2-1. And Bristol City have now equalised against Ipswich. They will be breathing a whole lot more comfortably now in that part of the country. Simpson to Primus, complete with both shin pads again. Thank goodness. Peplo. Bourne. Ball tiptoes along the line before eventually dipping out for a throw-in next to the corner flag. And that goal at Ipswich Town, which now makes it 1-1 there, means that as it stands, there is a much more comfortable gap for those Sunderland supporters between them and the bottom side in the table. The gap increases to 9 as it stands. 8 off third place, incidentally. It also means that for Southampton, the gap to third grows to 5 points. Collett and Peplo getting in each other's way. I think Peplo might well have tackled her own teammate there. And Ruby Ray Tucker's been caught in possession, and this is really neat for Sunderland. Brilliant run, good ball as well out to this right side of the penalty area. Low cross towards the 6-yard box. Falls to Shiva, who hits it. Struggled to keep it down. Good break though from Sunderland, particularly down the left-hand side. Shiva, not known for her goal-scoring prowess, is yet to score in red and white stripes. Eyes must have lit up, though, as that ball fell to her. Westrup taking no chances. I'm sure she would have liked to have seen that ball go for a throw-in, though, instead of a corner kick, and one arm in the air there was clearly an apology for that. Corner kicks, often so dangerous. Such an opportunity as well for Southampton, who benefit from the height of Peplo, Bourne and Goddard. It's Simpson who takes this in-swinger at the near post, bounces and cleared away comfortably enough. Collett is the last defender for the Saints, back to Stenson. McAloney trying to find Primus, cut out before it could reach him by Brown. best of balls. 15 minutes remaining then. Southampton beaten 2-1 after extra time by Bristol City a week ago. They had led until the 79th minute. The manager, Simon Parker, called that demoralising. They are looking to make up for a stuttering November when they were winless. They lost 3 of their 4 matches, but they signed off for the Christmas break with a smile. There is a free kick. And they started the new year with one as well, winning against South Coast rivals Portsmouth. Meanwhile, on the men's side of the game, those two sides met today. It finished Portsmouth 1, Southampton 1 in what I can tell was a foul-tempered affair, because the picture of the highlights that I clicked on at half-time just showed a bunch of players fighting. Unsurprisingly, Sunderland, and you can see there Jess Brown taking their time over the restart. Mel Ray so close to a precious 3 points here. How she'll want this. Said they have to make every single game count. At the moment, they are doing. Brazil turns the ball in field for McAloney. Broken up by Griffiths and sent long. McAloney again, asking too much of Primus. Chilly afternoon in the northeast. 3 points would make the effort of standing here and getting out in the cold all the more worthwhile for those home fans. Bourne wants a ball back quickly so she can take the throw-in. One of her teammates has already beaten her to it, though. McAloney trying to turn it round the corner again. Held the ball up well today. Michaela McAloney just hasn't been able to then subsequently introduce her teammates as we approach the final 10 minutes. Awkward bouncing ball for Bourne. Kitchen runs in and capitalises, gives it back to Watson, and the official is flagging for a free kick, which just gave momentary pause for Watson there and promptly cut the attack short and the advantage. But it's a free kick in a dangerous area, this. Another Sunderland goal here would certainly make them feel a whole lot more comfortable approaching the final stages of this game. It's Fenton who stands over the ball. That's a good ball towards the back post, and the captain Roberts meets it with a head. Same in the end for Stenson, who was in a hurry to get play moving again. Collett with a flick. Tucker can't get there. Peplow. I was trying to set Simpson away. Just like when the two sides met earlier this season. Sunderland leading. It took a stoppage time equaliser at the end of the first half for Southampton to secure a point at St Mary's. Peplow, who got on the ball there, was the player that scored it. Go into the game having won 3 of their last 4 in all competitions, as there's another yellow card on the way. This one for the goal scorer, Eleanor Dale. Highlights will be available later if you are just joining us on the WSL2 YouTube channel and This is a goal to see. It's not spectacular by any means, but it's, quite frankly, the biggest goal line scramble I have ever commentated on. Bourne coming forwards. I think Watson didn't quite fancy that with the big centre half. As Kitching attempts to keep it in but can't. Bourne's throwing. Forced to Primus. Initially looked like an aimless ball, but Ruby Ray Tucker suddenly sprinted out of nowhere to try and make something of that. Inside the final 10 minutes. Those the dulcet tones you could hear there shouting the name Ruby of Simon Parker, 39-year-old. He's from Southampton, the manager. Managed them before in their formative years, winning a League and Cup double. The benefits of these smaller stadiums, you can hear exactly what he's saying. The instructions for Ruby Ray Tucker to play between the fullback and the centre-back. Don't think I'm giving anything away there. A corner kick for Southampton. There was a time earlier on in this game where all we had were Southampton corner kicks. Excuse me, Sunderland corner kicks. This a 10th corner of the game for the home team. And it will be Katie Kitching with the in-swinging ball. Dale challenging for it. Dropped just over her head. Simpson brings it away for Southampton. Goal now for the home team would probably put this game out of sight for the Saints. Here comes Brazil, charging forwards. Peplow with her. McAloney joining. That ball is just a touch too far in front of her. Good defending. Sunderland will attack with a counter-attack of their own. It's all Katie Watson at the moment, and she is ploughing a lone furrow. Back to Griffiths. And it's still Griffiths. Low cross into the penalty area. Is sneaked past the first defender. But Southampton do have it back. Ruby Ray Tucker running into trouble with Fenton. Deserve great credit, though, the home team in the second half have really piled the pressure on. 20 attempts total for the game. 3/4 of those have come in the second half. 7 attempts on target. They hadn't managed a single attempt on target in the first half. By contrast, Southampton had 1 attempt on target at half-time, and they still have just 1 attempt on target for the entire game. And they are running out of time. Bourne. Headed away by Roberts. As far as Bashford, who appealed for handball. Instead, Kitching will set Dale away. Goddard gets there first, though. Back to Stenson. Shiva. Hit the back of the heels of her own teammate there. Now Ruby Ray Tucker. Bashford again. Where is an answer going to come from for Southampton? Atlanta Primus has so often popped up on these occasions, playing a little deeper here, though. Peplow plays a 1-2 with her opponent. Now Simpson, just over 5 minutes remaining. The long, searching ball. Ruby Ray Tucker will sprint after it and get there. Knocks it back. Primus could be a target. Cleared away before it could reach her. That is a blood and thunder challenge. And a fair one at that. Home fans loved that. Bourne back for Southampton. Now Simpson. Watson. Plenty of pace, sprinting away. Peplow getting back in front of her, appeals for a free kick from Mel Ray there that you could see, bottom of your screen. Now Brown. Dale, down the corner looking for Kitching. Might well just be able to make out the travelling Southampton supporters. And if they have travelled all the way from the south coast, fair play to them. Shiva skips the ball away for Dale. The goal scorer, the match winner as things stand. And that'll be a goal kick. No team has scored more away goals than Southampton this season, entering match round 13 of the WSL 2 campaign. How they could do with another now. Here comes Simpson again for Southampton. Long ball bounces awkwardly. Eventually cleared away by Roberts, only as far as Peplow. And disappointingly for Simon Parker and those travelling Southampton supporters, that'll be a Sunderland throw. Well, Marissa Shiva's fingerprints have been all over this pitch and all over the game as well. Certainly played her part, yet to score a goal in Sunderland colours, but there she is again, getting involved where it counts. Primus makes the challenge, judged to have got the ball. Grandstand finish perhaps on the horizon here in the northeast. Stenson gets a head start on that ball and quickly shuffles it across to Bourne. And we're hearing that there's not going to be a lot of added time at the end of this game. There haven't been many stoppages at all throughout. There was no stoppage time in the first half. And so, if Southampton are to find a way to get an equaliser, they will need to get a shimmy on, because time is fast ticking away from them. Defeat here would mean a first loss in the league since their last trip to the northeast. Had a narrow 1-0 defeat at Newcastle. Gallows humour taking hold of the travelling Southampton supporters, though. Only here from the weather is the chant. Primus, a little over a minute of normal time remaining. And doesn't that just sum up Southampton's afternoon? That's Bourne chasing after the ball, and will take the throw in. Less than 30 seconds remain now. As it stands, just 1 minute of additional time added on. McAloney with the strong challenge. Sunderland are almost there. Bourne's ball. The 90 minutes are up. And it is confirmed, just one additional minute of stoppage time here. Sunderland so close to back-to-back league victories for the first time all season. Dale, content to keep it in the corner. That'll be a throw-in. And Brown of Sunderland in no hurry whatsoever to come across and take it. Watson's the target in the corner. Kitchen over there too. And a throw-in. Sunderland quite literally have Southampton exactly where they want them. Only as far as Brown. Straight back to the corner again. That's Watson. Plays it off of Simpson. Another throw-in. Full-time beckons for Sunderland. 3 points. Beckon for Sunderland. And what a big win that is for the lasses in the northeast against the Saints. Back-to-back wins in WSL 2 for the first time all season. It's their first clean sheet since opening day and their first clean sheet at home for the entire campaign. It's also the first time that they've beaten a team higher than them at the start of the day this season. It is Eleanor Dale who is the hero. One of the scrappiest goal line scrambles you've ever seen in your life. But finally, off the mark for the season is Dale. And what an important time to get that first goal of the campaign in the league. A precious 3 points that sees them keep a hold of the coattails of that mid-table pack that are chasing the top three. What a disappointing afternoon, though, for Southampton, who will feel every bit of the 300-plus miles home back to the south coast. In the northeast, it is finished. Sunderland 1, Southampton 0. Well, that's the tail of the tape, and what a contrast to the first half statistics. It was only a narrow scoreline with the 1-goal advantage to Sunderland, but they had 3 times the number of shots that Southampton managed, and the vast majority of those came in the second half. Some of the other games are still going on. That kicked off at 2 o'clock. Charlton Athletic continue to lead against Newcastle United, which would see them maintain their gap at the top of the table to 5 points. All eyes really will be on Ipswich and what they can do against Bristol City. They were leading by 1-0. Ipswich, the bottom side of WSL 2. Bristol City all the way up in 3rd. If Ipswich can stop Bristol City from getting a late winner there, that will give a lot of teams, including the likes of Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest and Southampton, some hope that they can still claw the distance back as Nottingham Forest continue to lead against Sheffield United as well. Southampton's gap to the top 3 is 5 points. They will look at this afternoon as very much an opportunity missed in the northeast. Sunderland closed the gap on 7th place Southampton to just 3 points. So we will take a look at the highlights from that encounter this afternoon. Vast majority of them, if not all, will come in the second half after a fairly uneventful first 45 minutes at Eppleton Colliery. Here is Fenton's cross into the penalty area, and Stenson did well to come and grab that. And as you can tell here, these highlights do start in the second half. Ball swung in here and headed just wide. But this a sign of things to come from Sunderland, who laid siege to the Southampton penalty area with cross after cross after cross. This is the goal. How Roberts doesn't score there, I'm not sure. And then they just queue up, have 7 or 8 attempts. Finally, it's tucked home by Eleanor Dale, who scored her first goal of the season. She was a real goal threat for Sunderland last season. What an important one this could prove to be. A word for the defending on the goal line there of Goddard, the former Sunderland player, quite literally putting her body on the line. Southampton really struggled to make any mark in the second half as they push for an equaliser. This about as close as they came through Atlanta Primus. And as you can see, that one whizzed over. So let's have a look at what this afternoon's WSL 2 football means for the current standings. Of course, Sunderland have a game in hand over a lot of teams, and they cut that gap on Southampton to just 3 points. Ipswich look like they'll pick up a point this afternoon, surprisingly, against Bristol City. So that means there is a 9-point cushion for Sunderland to the relegation zone, though I am sure they will not be looking over their shoulder. They will insist that they're looking up the table, and were they to win that game in hand, would move on to 18 points, and just like the likes of Southampton, Nottingham Forest and rivals Newcastle United would then have a good shout at trying to rein in the likes of Bristol City and Crystal Palace. Remember, this season in WSL 2, that 3rd place could be all important. It will result in a playoff against the team who finishes bottom of the WSL. And so if you have chosen to shelter from the awful weather with us this afternoon on the WSL 2 YouTube channel, we very much appreciate your company. From the northeast, it's finished Sunderland 1, Southampton 0.